Hey guys, it's Todd at Commercial Tracks, and we're coming to you today with a quick video. Maybe you are a video editor or content creator and you get clients that send in virtual meetings and you need to kind of level up those virtual meetings so that you can add value to the client's end product and also create better productions for you. We're going to show you how you can do that. All right, let's get into it. So when you get your Zoom records in from the client or whoever is delivering them to you, there's some standard layouts that are going to kind of come along with those records. You get a number of video files depending on how many records were captured. Some of those different views are the ones that are seen here. So you may end up with an active speaker view. You may have a gallery view where it's a number of presenters in a gallery. You may have a shared window view where you have people in the gallery that are sharing content. Sometimes that's laid out even differently to where the thumbnail view may be laying over top of the content, and the sizes of the speakers will even vary. So basically there's not a lot of consistency in what you end up getting. There's a number of factors that play in, from the webcam that's being utilized when the person is capturing their video to the laptop or the monitors that they're using. Those different resolutions will affect the size of the videos that come in from Zoom, whether or not they are recording to their local computer or recording to the Zoom cloud. So all of these things will cause you to end up with a variety of video sizes for your Zoom content. Even sometimes with what you capture, you end up with, the black background. And sometimes this is just not the look that the client is going for. And this is why you want to be able to level up and get some consistency out of the videos that you're producing from these virtual events. So let's hop over to Photoshop, and I'm going to show you at least some examples of some of the different types of graphics that you can create as overlays to help enhance those Zoom records. Alright, so I wanted to hop over to Photoshop real quick and just show you some examples of what you can do to create something, a graphic overlay that's going to be a little bit more engaging for the Zoom record. So here's a sample of a few just to give you an idea. By doing the overlay and making cutouts basically that the video is going to show through in, you can reposition things to in your video to make it look more engaging. This way we get to add some branding. There's a background to make the footage look better than the normal standard Zoom record. These are just examples of some things that you can do. Maybe you've got multiple speakers. You can actually do things like add lower thirds, a title for the event. All of these things to make that standard Zoom recording a much more visually pleasing piece of content. A lot easier to consume for the end users. A lot better for the client as far as production value and professionalism. So basically what you would do is you would create a layout of some sort, whatever it's going to be, whatever the client has approved of, and you would export this out as a PNG that keeps the transparency, so that when you lay this inside of Premiere Pro, the graphic layer will be up top, allowing you to see the video beneath it. Alright, so now we're over in Premiere Pro, and I'm going to show you a quick way that you can level up some of those Zoom recordings. So you're going to take that footage of the single speaker, drag it over into your timeline, right? His presentation or whatever it was that he was doing. So you drag that over into the timeline and take one of these simple layouts to just give you an idea of what you can do. So we're going to drag that into the timeline, and this is just the graphic overlay, right? And so you can see the graphic overlay is on top and you can see the video through the bottom, right? So then also with the footage that's captured, you may have, say, like a PowerPoint presentation. And you take that PowerPoint or that shared screen, whatever it might be, and you drag it over into the timeline as well. So as you can see, you basically have your PowerPoint and you have your single speaker, and they're in layers, and so, one covers the other. And what you want to do is you want to take the graphic overlay that you have created, and you just want to position things in the right location. And you do that by going to the Effect Control window if you're using Premiere Pro, and you're basically just going to reposition and resize till it fits into the appropriate location, right? And you'll go and do the same thing with your presenter or your speaker. You're going to resize them, move them over, and just continue to resize and reposition until you get them sitting where you want them to sit And just with those couple of simple, easy steps, you've made a huge difference in this content and how it's delivered. You've got, a background graphic that's a lot more interesting than the black background that comes with the standard Zoom records. You also have now been able to add some branding, just things to enhance and make this video a whole lot better for the client and a whole lot better for the people watching the video. So let's take another example to just show you how you can quickly get a different look. This one has a different aspect ratio for the presenter. I'm just going to option drag and drop that to replace the first template. So now I've got a new graphic. I just have to reposition everything so that it fits. Okay, something like that. And then you're going to take your presenter and make sure they're positioned the way that you want them to be positioned with this new layout, right? And again, just another quick way of showing you how you can level up those recordings. So now you've got a lower third that can be manipulated either inside of Premiere Pro or inside of Photoshop. Now you can add a name and a title. So right there, this has created a lot more visually engaging piece of content for the person watching the video, and it's added production value to the client, and it's leveled up your production skills. Now you can offer different levels of edits for those standard records that would come in. Now in this last example, I want to show you what you can do with, say, a gallery view where you've got multiple presenters on the screen. The Zoom record basically comes in, similar to what you see here. So now we're going to basically take this Zoom look that's pretty standard, and we're going to take it and enhance it by adding our graphic overlay and positioning the speakers in a much more visually appealing way. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to take this person who's on the bottom, and I'm going to position them in the first circle, and then the other two people accordingly. So what we do is we turn our graphic overlay back on that's on the very top layer of our video. Basically, I want to take this video layer and I'm going to reposition her so that she is viewable in this first box. And what we want to do then is duplicate, and in Premiere you would just option click on this and drag it down to create a new layer. I'm going to move this up to the top, and we're going to create a third layer. So all three of these video layers will represent my three different speakers. Now, one of them has already been positioned to where I want them to be. Now the second one, this is a duplicate layer. Now the issue is going to be when I get ready to try to reposition this second speaker, the first video is kind of covering it up. So there's things that are in the way. So basically what you want to do is you want to go to your top layer. I'm going to toggle this on and off so I make sure I have the right one. Go to your top layer of video. As you get more videos into your layout, it may require you to do a little bit of masking. And that's a very simple thing that you can do in Premiere. And what the mask is going to do is limit where this video is actually visible. So I'm going to add a mask to this area. I'm going to take and go over in my effects control window and grab the ellipse tool, which is basically like a circular mask, if you will. And I'm just going to lay that over this area. So now this top video has basically a border that prevents it from moving any further than that. And what we're seeing here are other video layers that have been turned on. Okay, so now when I turn on my next video layer, I can reposition this speaker to be where I want her to be. Alright, and I'm going to turn on a mask for her as well so that she doesn't bleed over into my third speaker's box. And so we just take and we reposition the mask, and these can be resized, repositioned however you need them to be. And circles, they can be shapes that you draw out yourself by using the pen tool, or shapes that are more like a square. At any rate, whatever it takes to make sure that the video just doesn't bleed over into areas where you don't want it. And then you take your last presenter, and I'm going to turn that video on. I'm going to reposition that last presenter to where I need that person to be. Okay, now on this one, because I've masked the other layers, I really don't have to mask him. He can basically be where he is without creating any issues. So now, by simply taking and duplicating the gallery view of the Zoom record, using a little masking and repositioning each of the presenters, now you can present this whole thing in a much more visually appealing way. You know, we can add a title here to the conference. We've got speakers. We've got lower thirds to identify who the speakers are, as well as some branding elements that can be added. So you can, these are just quick examples, but you can see what you can actually do to enhance your Zoom recordings and make them more visually appealing. And this is going to level up your production value. It's going to give the client a much more polished and professional end product. And it's going to be a lot more engaging to the viewers that are watching the videos. So I hope that this helps, gives you some ideas about things that you can do to help level up your Zoom recordings and to create better content for your clients. So listen, if you found this video to be helpful or informative, please don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you in the next video.